13 of the Commission of Inquiries hearing into violence that marred the Ayawaso West Wugan by-elections. Currently before the commission is Mohammed Suleimana. He is the one seen in a video hitting or assaulting Mr. Sam George. Well, we were not expecting a sit-in today because we were earlier told by the Commission in a statement released on Thursday afternoon that, quote, due to the sheer volume of testimonies we need to be taken prior to the Commission bringing to an end its hearings, it had become necessary to reschedule the prior announced press briefing for Thursday. Accordingly, the Secretary to the Commission will answer questions and give next steps immediately after closure of sitting on Friday. So if you were following us yesterday, the Commission had announced that sitting will end yesterday, but that could not be done, and the reasons are given in that statement I read from earlier. We'll take you shortly to the Christian Bock Castle, where Mohammed Suleimana, a member of the SWAT team, is testifying. Bringing you live visuals from the Christian Bock Castle at Osu. What's happening now is a member of the SWAT team, Mohammed Suleimana, who hit Mr. Sam George, is being asked to tell the Commission what triggered the assault. He's got a translator with him, and so he's telling the translator what has been said, and he's expected, or the translator is expected to write it down on paper for the Commission to understand what exactly triggered. We also understand that he's looking at pictures also from the crime scene. We'll be bringing you all those details as the Commission waits for him to respond to the things he's been asked, or the questions he's been asked, and the things that he's seen. We are expecting more people to appear today. After Mr. Suleimana, we expect Nathaniel Tenge to appear. He is Mr. Delali Kwesi Brimpone's housekeeper, and then James Moore and Mohammed Al Hassan, who are victims. And we understand that all these people will need translators, and this is important because the issue of translation brings to mind the time frame that the Commission has to do its work. And you know that usually translations will take a longer time, and so we've got 3 more witnesses. Can the Commission make the time they've set for themselves today? Well, we've got our fingers crossed, but we are here to bring you every and anything that happens at the Commission's hearing this morning. Right now, counsel to the Commission is deliberating with commissioners there. I'm pretty sure he has taken that information given to him by Mr. Mohammed Suleimana on what really triggered the assault on Mr. Sam George, and he's showing that to the commissioners. You remember earlier in the early periods of the commission sitting, DSP Azugu said that what had been said to this man that triggered the assault were unprintable, and so he could not tell the commission. Later, Mr. Sam George was shown that paper on which the information was written, and he denied the allegation. Let's see what Mr. Mohammed Suleimana will tell the Commission. Will the Commission consider it a threat to security or unprintable? I remember when DSP Azugu said those words were unprintable, the Commission said, well, they are not alien to unprintable words, and he could go ahead, but he insisted that he didn't want to say to the general public what had transpired between Mr. Sam George and this man leading to the assault. There's still some more deliberation going on there. The counsel to the Commission is at the table of this witness. I'm pretty sure they're still trying to understand really what he said. But today, like I mentioned earlier, we expect the 3 other witnesses who are coming to also have translators. Yesterday on social media, there were some reactions to the translations of 2 of the victims who had come, and one of them was speaking in the Akan language, Tree, the other was speaking in Hausa. And from the social media reactions and from those who who know the languages so well, there seems to be some omission and additions in there. Later today, when the commission ends its sitting, Secretary to the commission will be taking questions from the media, and we expect that they would answer questions on why more professional interpreters or translators were not used in this commission. We've been told over time how important their work is, and we here at Joy News have put a lot of premium on the work of the commission. And so why didn't we have professional interpreters or translators? The commission will have to answer that if they want to, but that's a question I'm sure a lot of you would want answers to, considering the concerns that have been raised as a result of the work of those who have translated so far. I mean, they've done a good job, and it's fair to say they've tried their best, but people believe, picking from the reactions we've seen on social media, that a better job could have been done. It's day 13 of the Commission of Inquiry's hearing into the violence that marred the Ayawasa West Wogan by-election. By way of reminder, we've seen people from different sectors appear, national security, we've seen journalists and media men appear, we've seen victims, we've seen the EC chairperson, Madame Jen Mensah, we've had civil society organizations, CADEO, CDD, we've got ministers of state as well, we've got the Inspector General of Police and some of his men coming through the commission, giving testimonies. And in all of this, the commission would hope to put the pieces together. Don't forget their terms of reference. They're there to look into what really caused this and give further recommendations on what can be done. And I'm sure if you've been following this keenly since it started, there have been concerns about the lack of coordination between the Ghana Police Service and the National Security Secretariat. And we've seen, for example, the Interior Minister say the car that was used on the day by the SWAT team having the police emblem does not belong to the police. Shortly after that, we had Minister in charge of National Security, Albert Kandapa, dispute that. He said it belongs to the Ghana Police Service, but he gave an explanation as to why it is possible that the Interior Minister would not know that it belonged to the Ghana Police Service, even though it did belong to the Ghana Police Service. And we heard from the IGP also about the lack of coordination between his service and the Ghana Police Service. So we are still waiting to see if the commission would let the general public know what Mr. Suleimana Mohammed, who is a member of the SWAT team, has written as a reason, or what was said to trigger his assault on Mr. Sam George. I think this is probably the longest silence or pause we've had in this commission trying to get a witness to either write or identify something on a sheet of paper. But you can understand that Mr. Mohammed Suleimana needs a translator, and the concerns of right interpretation and translation have been raised. And so I'm pretty sure the commission may want to get this right. And also because there has been different statements made as to what resulted in the assault. DSP Azugu said they were unprintable words. They could affect the security of the nation. Mr. Sam George says, I never uttered those words that have been written there. They are not my words. This has been created to malign me. I never said that, what they're saying that I said. And so let's wait for Mr. Mohammed Suleimana. He is a key witness, especially when it comes to the assault of Mr. Sam George. He heard something, we are told, and decided to get off the vehicle and hit Mr. Sam George. What will those words be? We don't know yet. Will the commission want us to know? We've got our fingers crossed. But I'm sure, like myself, you at home or wherever you are would want to know what these words are and why they caused that assault on Mr. Sam George. But let me also take you back to some of the other contradictions that we've heard. And we have counsel of the to the commission coming back. Okay, we can go back to the Christian Castle now.
Mr. Suleiman.
Yes, my lord.
I'm going to ask you the same question again, and this time you are free to give the answer. Is that okay?
Yes, my lord.
Very well. But make sure it's the same as what you have written here. Is that okay?
Yes, my lord.
Make sure it's the same as what you've written here. Is that okay?
Yes, my lord.
And I hope this will guide you. Now, in the video, you are seen jumping off the vehicle and walking towards the man in brown shirt. First of all, what caused you to get off the vehicle?
Ne video shall bring me wama. Ne arashina lorma puni. Nchen nivo song ye brown shirt ma sane. Ne bon ndale cheka shina lorma puni.
Yamale. Ndachi kan shina lorma puni. Normally, teaching operation. Anjila loro puni ndi butushirna. Dipa arrest ntibian. Kan shina kat make arrest ma.
Usually, when we go on operation, for me, I sit in the car until there is any arrest. Then I will come down and assist my colleagues to do the arrest, my lord.
That has not answered my question. My question is, what caused you to jump off the vehicle and start walking towards the gentleman?
Ni obahuma na ablabsle. Ni bondale che yihana lormani. Ka chang afama sane. Ka amino tuk buptama ni bondale yihana lormani.
Yamale ndashila lorma puni. To ku benman ku yuar vrai. Ku benman yuar vrai. To bananya video mani on yuar vrai. Kaku tare o miskiriti ma. Aile mana anya o miskiriti ma. On ku benman non ye to ashele.
Whilst I was in the car, I saw him. He was playing. He was shouting around the place. And even if you watch the video very well, you see that the man was just shouting around the place. So didn't that check out?
Kadina. Oyuela verman kana lorma boni.
He made that type of noise and came to the car.
The moment on kunya face ma.
The moment he saw my marks, my tribal marks, my lord.
So Korea, ne fucking nodna. What do you want here?
Ne as subshells. Pyongo and the Yelshamia Ariel Mene, you foolish, you foolish.
No.
If you're going to say anything different from what is here, write it down.
To
Last opportunity to do that. If you're going to say anything different from what you have written, write it down. This is your last opportunity.
to ni buborme ni an Yelshamo Catlan Tayere to Shelma ni chances last captain am borna yel commission ngobin shak kamzasa nyin check at the sablu song bang ngopuni Bangopu ni yeto katiyen ayen yele. Dinka akuyen yel hal dinka akuyen bub hal na shahara dibin targa. Yeto gang konko kayen buba ama ayen yel de mo ka yel de mo kaptu dol na ka yel de mo ka yel de mo de ko son commission ngo. So ne tira chance. Am bor ne ti yel bin shak ayel bin shak kamzasa. Nyin cheka ti sablu song bangone. Abien ta bin shak din be bangone. Ka ke bin shak ayen yele. Dama pilguma ariel ne you foolish. Kaptulan dol na kalan tashele ne bu bor la commission ngo pune.
It's getting really interesting here. You remember that he was asked again what triggered the assault and was asked to make sure that it matches with what had been written earlier. Don't forget, the same questions were asked in both instances. One was written, one was oral. Here we realized that immediately used the expression. He said that when Mr. Sam George approached him, he insulted him by tribe after seeing the marks on his face and asked him, what are you doing here? But it appears that on what was translated on paper, the expression foolish was used instead of what you heard earlier, the F word. And we are yet to see. You just realized that their microphones were taken away from them. I'm just wondering why that's happening now. But we have counsel to the commission standing just by the table, having a conversation. You can see Mr. Mohammed Suleimana making gestures and all that. I'm sure is a conversation, trying to really figure out, was it foolish? Was it the F word? What exactly happened that triggered the assault on Mr. Sam George? They've stayed a while on this particular question because, like I mentioned, if you've been following the commission's work, you know what has happened with regards to this. There's been contradictions. Mr. Sam George says what DSP Azugu wrote earlier. And don't forget, DSP Azugu is commander of the SWAT team. And so he's commander of this gentleman, or the team this gentleman belongs to, Mr. Mohammed Suleimana, had said that some unprintable words were written. Mr. Sam George was shown those words when he took his turn at the commission, but he says he never uttered those words. So this is where we are now. The man himself has appeared. Suleimana Mohammed is here. And there seems to be some confusion on exactly what he's telling the commission with regards to what led to the assault. In one breath, it's foolish. In one breath, is the F word. We're still waiting to see what will happen. Today is day 13, and it appears that the commission has gone some 37 minutes, and they may go some more with this particular witness. But we have 3 other witnesses the commission hopes to see today. Don't forget, the commission is sitting today because these 3 witnesses could not appear yesterday. They had run out of time. And yesterday, as at 4 o'clock, the commission was still sitting. And that's quite unusual if you've been following their work. Quite recently, they've been closing around 1. They are pressed for time. They've been given a deadline and they need to finish. What will we see today? Would we have to postpone or extend this again? I don't know. But like I say, we are Joy News, and we will bring you everything and anything you need to know about the commission sitting. I've been joined by my colleague, Kojo Yangsin. Kojo, good to have you. Interesting last days.
Very much so. And you alluded to something I'd been thinking about since yesterday. And it's the situation of how much time the commission has to do their work. They were given 1 month. And there are many who suggested that a month was not enough. We know that at CDD, Professor Jima Bwedi suggested that more time be given to them so they can do a more expansive work. There has been some thought about the commission asking for more time. And I know even the commission itself considered that if they find themselves getting to the end and they realize that they perhaps might need more time, they would ask for it. But one thing that we haven't considered is the fact that the president actually cannot grant them more time if they ask for it, because the 1 month was written into the CI, the constitutional instrument. So if you need to change that 1 month, it has to be presented to Parliament again. So it's not a straightforward matter of simply granting them more time. The president would not be able to do that legally. So they really do have to work within the time that has been allocated them. And so...
or have to go through the process you suggested now.
Absolutely, which, well, considering how much time is left, I don't know whether they would even be... they would even wish to consider that process, because you don't know how Parliament will deal with it. You can't take it for granted that you will get it when you request it. So, yeah, they are clearly trying to wrap up as quickly as they can. Yesterday's extension didn't help, and it is in large part down to the situation with our translators. It's something that we really need to pay attention to. We've talked about it amongst ourselves a lot, but it's one of the issues that Ghana has been discussing. It's these translators and how much of what we've heard have the translators been able to properly put to the commission. What will the records say, and how close will it be to what the actual witnesses said?
Could the commission, in the beginning we heard, like you said, some suggest that maybe the commission should have determined or seen how vast their work will be, or how long it would take them before we could have put a time or determined the time, because we were told by secretaries of the commission, Mr. Kofi Abochi, that they did not take some witnesses they had advertised earlier because, well, they realized at a point that they wouldn't need them. But we were also told by the PRO that they were, you know, trying to work with the, not most important, but the people, the most relevant, thank you, the most relevant people, because they were pressed for time. But the commission has resumed. They actually didn't take a break, a proper break per se, but there was some silence because they were trying to determine what exactly had been told Mr. Mohammed Suleimana, for which he assaulted some judge. Let's go back to the Christian Bokassil. To hear something, but it appears, Kojo, the commission is still not ready to speak. When they are, we'll take you to the Christian Bokassil. We saw commission to the council, I beg your pardon, council to the commission. Prompt the commissioners that their witness was ready for them, so we don't know what's causing the delay, but we'll take you there. But Kojo, we're talking about the time factor in the commission's work and how it could probably affect the witnesses they've heard and, you know, the kind of work or detailed work they'll be able to do.
I mean, let's be clear. Perhaps the real heavy lifting for this commission is in the deliberation. If you think of a court case where there is a jury, it is not the listening to testimony that is the hard work in coming to a judgment. It is the deliberation, going back and sifting through everything they've heard, all the evidence that's been presented, reading every document. And they have to read every document. Once something has been presented as evidence, it must be considered before it can either be discarded or accepted and weighted, you know, accordingly. And so everything that has been presented must be read. You know, and we saw the volume of documents that Codeo alone presented. And that's just one. One witness. We have other witnesses, the investigators and the police, who will all be presenting volumes and volumes of documents and evidence in different forms. These cartridges and the ballistics reports that will come with them will have technical detail that they might have to consult on. They will have to get second opinions sometimes. It's going to be a long, arduous process if they want to do it well. And once that is done, then comes the actual writing, once they've made a determination of what they want to communicate to government, the actual writing of the document becomes another task, another job. So by the time they're done, I mean, this 1 month is really going to be fully used. You know, the 30 days or however it was written in the LI, it's going to be fully used. And so they really can't faff about. They can't waste time at all. Yesterday, I believe they would have considered it quite a setback because things stretched much longer than they expected it to. But there was no other choice. They really had to listen to everything that was to be said. And so they stayed on as long as necessary to get that job done. But boy, what a job.
What a job, indeed. I mean, for those of us following, like you just spoke rightly about the fact that the work itself is not in listening, it's in making sense, figuring out contradictions, trying to get the truth and sift all that you've heard and throw the chaff away and work with the valuable information. And I can imagine how much work they've put into what they've heard so far. But Kojo, I don't know why this also seems to be an issue that we've seen Justice Emil Short speak to counsel, to the commission, and he's ready to speak now. The counsel, I mean, let's hear him.
So then, if I understood you, you're saying that the honorable gentleman insulted you and that is why you got off the car. Am I right?
Ni abor muna woni kaman lala fama nora tuame nrinda chika shina lorman ma.
Ora tumame.
Yes, my lord.
And then what happened?
Rinyanga bondale na.
Kandashina timyo.
My lord, that is why I came down to beat to knock him.
Now, Mr. Suleimana, you said you did not know the gentleman in question. Am I right?
Ne ayale na rabu mi lala nimvosong mbe fotoman ma. Yamang nyale.
Yamangle manashim mio.
My lord, I never knew him.
And even as you sit here, don't you know who he is?
Halton najia tamshalon anaba mio I abu mio. Tunkujia tamshalon. Bikuyala nungun zeo anto bango.
Ojentone nkutu bango.
My lord, even if he is in front of me, I can't identify him.
All right. Mr. Suleimana, the gentleman in question is a member of parliament. Has that come to your attention at all?
Ne lala anda nyene mosoma no nyala jina du yile nira. Ne amilala.
Mbamilala.
I don't know him to be a member of parliament, my lord.
And I'm telling you, he is a member of parliament. What do you say?
Ni obaru no yala tijingo pone ka ban kada wanyala jina du jintora. No baru no yala lala. Ula kain yala.
Yerisham nyala. Onda yeri to ashema debungmane jintora nyu.
My lord, what he was doing and the way he was acting doesn't seem to be a member of parliament.
Given what you know now, that he's a member of parliament, and under the same circumstances, would you still do what you did?
Ne dinyi panang kabang ne jintoram balama kalala bihaguma yilan kalala ben shaadan danang ma yilan nang nan an la nyo kanda nyo shama.
Yamangle dinang kaimi ni empimbara nkusanyo.
My lord, if I know that this is an MP, I will never do that. I will never knock him or I will never beat an MP.
Mr. Suleimana.
Yes, my lord.
If you should be given an opportunity to apologize to the honorable MP, would you do it?
Ni bita swale na tum sandani nung lala empima na nung.
Netum sandana no.
My Lord, I will apologize to him.
You have your opportunity.
Ne diptuya na mal lala sahamatin ja tamsho ne tasole ne atam samdane nung lala empima na nda tumshama. Yelmo anwal.
To yamangli ntum tali ne nara nang ben shama.
My Lord, I was guilty at what I did. I regretted what I did.
Is that all?
Na amkuyen yel shamzambala.
Maniri ku tum tali ayel manan tum tali unkulam patali ma.
My Lord, whenever you err or you offend somebody, whatever you say, you need to say is, I'm sorry, I won't do that again.
Is it merely what you say, or when you are remorsed, you feel like doing it and you do it?
Dimdin jama kaman o aku yalla mazo de paga sohne bi a nirni tumtuni katabang kaman ne tumtun shelgo dal zan bala zahan bala ka bor sandane ne la sandan ma ka bor ngo bi o aku bor la sandane.
Yamangli sandani muna sukam aku tum tali kaya na tum tali don kunye shambara. Ogwache tali ma zambara.
What I know is when you err or when you offend somebody and you ask for forgiveness, you say it and it comes from your heart, then that person will also forgive you.
Thank you, Mr. Suleiman. Mr. Chairman, your witness.
I don't have any question for the witness.
Just a bit of advice, Mr. Suleiman.
Yes, my Lord.
No obormeni osasa.
When the state puts a uniform on you,
Ni dinang katangban ngo zaha gana tangban zaha zang liga yala.
you carry the power of the state with you.
Nirsahama tangban ngo ya be tangban ngo mulki ngo zaha ya kabzan nang anunu.
It's day 13 of the Commission of Inquiry's hearing into violence that marked the Ayaso West Wugan by-election. It's getting interesting by the minute. The Commission expected to end yesterday. It didn't happen. They are meeting today. They are sitting today. We'll take you there and let you know all that is happening.